Hi there, and thank you so much for joining me. I always do appreciate it, and you join me for the resurgence at Mazuri Gardens. Now, I say zoo, I really don't want it to be so much of a zoo now. As you can see, if Planet Rollercoaster was saying this, I think they'd call it a season zoo, really, because we are really revamping this park and changing it all up. It is almost like a series 2, because we've deleted about half the things that I built, really, in that first series, and we'll play it by ear and see how it goes. But I'm really enjoying building in this park, really, and you can actually see that, of course, with all of my build videos, I like to give you a bit of a package, really, with the logo that you get and some of the music. But also, we're actually going to be having some time-lapse. I know, revolutionary, as Moomin Little Socks would say. Really happy to be bringing this new technique to the channel, really, and I'm not going to start being sarcastic. I'm not that good at it, but you can see we are actually building some time lapses, really. I always feel pressured when I want to get these kind of videos together, and I just feel like someone's watching me, even though they're not really. Well, I guess you are, but yeah, I'm not a big fan of making time lapses, but I've heard from commenters on the channel, I really appreciate each and every one of you for your support, that you'd like to get some more time lapses in. So let's do it, and hopefully make this a mainstay for this resurgence of Mazuri Gardens. As you can see at the moment, we're theming the queue line. And before I get carried away and explain each piece by piece as I run out of things to say, I must say that this is actually building just a bit of a theming for the queue line area of the previous episode, which was actually a Flamingo flat kind of themed flat ride, which was really botanical and really beautiful, but we really needed to tone it down a little bit more and make it a bit more, not industrial, but working kind of town. And this is really the closest I ever want to get to pirate theme. I'm not a really big fan of pirate theme, as if you're a fan of the channel, you probably know that. I make that very clear, because I find just the pieces a bit boring. Everyone always uses them. So this is hopefully, as I say, the closest we ever get to pirate. And, all these pieces definitely sell themselves towards pirate with all the barrels and everything. But we really needed this kind of nautical and kind of shipyard kind of theme, really, to be honest. So all the ropes and things definitely sell that theme, but yeah, we're just going with it, really. So you can see, just moving along in this stretch of theming, we'll just have a bit of a foliage. We'll have a go at putting some foliage down in a minute, in that area just there. And as you can see, as I say, we want it to make it not as perfect as we have with the raised beds and everything to the left-hand side, around all those flamingos. And what I imagine is this is quite a low-budget kind of theming area. Of course, there's lots of overgrown things, so not too well maintained. Of course, Planet Coaster, some of the things do look very high budget, so it's difficult to tone it down, especially with no TMTK. But as I say, with all of the safari theme, we want to be really going with kind of, I don't know, the flamingo style. Like, imagine someone who had gnomes in their back garden. They're those kind of things with the prongs, and you put them in the grass, and they're like made of fiberglass or something. So, and that's the same with these kind of flagstones that, all keeping to the budget. And I'm not saying that this is a huge budget theme park, but it's okay. It's not too bad for itself, and it's managing to theme these areas nicely. So moving on to the next surprise bit of time-lapse, we have 2 bits of time-lapse today, and this is my favourite of the 2, because this is actually building a hooker duck stand, so a midway game. Of course, I really do love building these smaller things, especially on the console when you have absolutely no TMTK to cheat. And you can see this is a very simple building technique. Of course, it's quite a difficult one at that, and there's loads of different brilliant tutorials. I'll mention M&J Games' tutorial on making like gazebos just like this, but it's a technique that's been around for a very long time, and I do really recommend that you do swat up on this and learn how to do it, because it really does give you a good feeling of how you can use your pieces to make different styles of buildings, and that's certainly what we've had to do here. So trimming it up with some nice roofing, and I don't want to go too far without mentioning that this has completely inspired this actual gazebo style by Mass Bandit. I'm sorry to any other YouTubers who thought I was your favourite, I don't know, but yeah, Mass Bandit, I make it very clear that my favourite YouTuber ever for Planet Coaster, just incredible, and I love just plagiarising his stuff, really. And of course, credit where it's due. But if you're having fun and just enjoying replicating kind of build techniques, which Mass Bandit is really the king of, different build techniques, and introducing me to them on YouTube, I had to give it a go. So really, once you have your wedge sorted, you've done all your work really, apart from adding little things that you don't want to be similar all the way around. And this is really your hint at how this is going to be with a bit of a twist really. Usually you might expect hooker ducks to be blue or something themed to like watery kind of theme, but this is actually going to be hooker flamingo. So yeah, really excited to show you this because it's a twist that I've never actually seen before in any real life theme parks or Planet Coaster. I'm sorry if you have, but I've never seen it, and you can see just rotating it around, you can see just building the wedges around, really easy to do. And I really recommend that you learn this building technique. Of course, it can get difficult when you have different buildings. The technique that I used, having lots of different buildings at once and then deleting the post in the middle, that works okay. There are different ways to get around it, and then just capping it off with a wooden piece just at the top there. And you can see now we'll have to add the pathing around and then go in and make it look like a proper hooker duck, because at the moment it's just a gazebo. While we do this, I wanted to give you a good idea of everything that we're doing today. You can see this plaza area that is going to be the entrance to the next 2 coasters, which I'm not making any secret. You can definitely see them in the back of these time lapses, and certainly when we walk around a little bit later. But yeah, really excited to be building those. And if you're enjoying this video and you'd quite like to see more of this series and you're new here to the channel, I'd really appreciate you subscribing so you don't miss out on those videos. And make sure to click the notification bell so you don't miss them. So of course we have to make it like a hooker duck. You can see just making that trough, just theming it around really. And of course that was so big, the troughs and centerpieces for water are so big, annoyingly so, that I've just placed an animatronic to make it look like the actual vendor is just sat on the edge. And that's something I think you see quite often really. It's not too unrealistic to see them perched on the side, because they are quite cramped usually with all of the teddies that are in their way most of the time. So we're going to make these flamingos, as you can see from the art shapes and some icing pieces, and we've got the Christmas pieces for the little hook there. This has been done for ducks similarly on the Steam Workshop before, so thank you to all those people who have inspired me for those pieces. We'll put the different poles down that of course you need to hook the, not the ducks, the flamingos of course. And we've just placed sign, do not feed the flamingos, get your prize. I think it's $3. I think this is based in America. Please let me know in the comments down below if you think it should be based anywhere else. And then sorting out a very basic sign. I actually build this one and then think I want something better than this, which you'll see a little bit later in the time lapse. Here you go. So we're going hooker flamingo out of books. This is quite a good technique to use if you want a small custom font. It can look a little bit messy, but for the 3D nature and you know, it's not a big flagship kind of sign that we've got going on in the park. And you'll see that a little bit later as we explore. So now transitioning into a bit that I'd like to make a staple of these videos, just walking around in Plipcam mode. You can see I've made these custom speakers to boom out some music into the park. And I just love the sightlines that you can get across from this water area. If you didn't join the live stream, as I have already done in the past week or two, and I actually built some binocular kind of lookout posts and a bin that just went into the left hand side. You probably can't smell it because you're on a tablet or something, but you've got the ice cream and cold drinks there. That's just placed down from other places in the park, from Mazuri Gardens, the OG Mazuri Gardens, and hooker flamingo, as you can see here. Really happy with how this has turned out. I will put this on the workshop and probably make it hooker duck as well, because that's probably what people want. But I'll give you what you want on the Xbox Frontier Workshop. Make sure to look out for that. But of course, not everyone is on there. So hopefully that time-lapse has given you a really good idea of how to build, and that's what it's all about really. So starting down this stretch of buildings, you can see these balloons that I've made previously for this Inside Out charity stream that I did before. I've just placed that down. We've also got these this kind of mosaic theme, and this is inspired by Phoenix Studios on YouTube. He did this kind of thing with these beams. Loads of different beams to make that, and as you can see, a custom roof on top as well. I've used that with the adventure pieces, some of the like temple god pieces. I've used those, and then a bit of a pattern on the back wall as well. This is inspired by Mass Bandit. I know, not too original, but a really nice and simple toilet building that has a bit of flair as well to it, with the lighting and then the different types of build sets that really break up the monotony of just this sandstone wall. That's very key to this theme around this queue line. as we'll walk around now. So going through the queue line, you can see just loads of different bits of clutter, learning from Wix and likes of Moom and Little Socks, of course, for this. And just going into the main scene here, I can see a bit of clipping. Slapped myself on the wrist for that. I'll have to check that out later and change that up a little bit, but you can see a really nice scene, and I really want it to be a bit lower budget, as I say. And you know, they're not doing too badly, this park, but just things placed down and not too well kept at all, which I think works well enough for that little scene there. So moving into nighttime, I think this is really where it excels. We've got some really nice spotlighting, of course, on the towers over there, which is probably one of the most iconic scenes, if anything is iconic, in this park of Mazuri Gardens. And looking across Flamingo Flats, just there, the Foo Flats, the restrooms. I don't know why I said restrooms. If it's in America, then I guess it is restrooms. But you can see, I want to point out also the drainage that we've got going on below your feet now, you will have just seen. And then the gradual ramps, the gradual staircases, and then also the flooring. It's really important to get that right in Planet Coaster, and the bits of realism with the knocked over parasols and everything. Blocking out, of course, with rocks to the next coaster that is going to be themed. And then going into this back section, which I built many moons ago, which is kind of a bit of a scene just to show off the Big Bug Live and lots of different shows that you could have for the kids just in there. A bit of a stage, and that might get revamped a little bit in the future. But that brings us to the end of this video. I really do hope that you have enjoyed it, and I'll leave you with this lovely sunset, and why not check out one of these videos? I think you'll really enjoy it.